So in case we have any scratchers, it might show up.
They took a bus to San Diego to Tijuana.
Did they fly from Boise to San Diego?
Yeah. But then they took buses because they're right through.
Bummer.
In case we have any scratchers, it might show up.
San Diego to Tijuana.
Did they fly from Boise to San Diego?
They took buses because they're right
Bummer.
In case we have any scratchers, it might show up.
Did they fly from Boise to San Diego?
Before we begin, I want to share something with you that Stacy put together for everyone.
I don't see video. Is there video? Oh, God.
There's a town in the valley where the mountains stand tall. We plow through the winters and answer the call. From Morgan Lake mornings to Main Street's parade, we serve with a smile and a fresh coat of shade. We fix what's broken, we budget what's grand. We stretch every nickel and lend a strong hand. Through teamwork and laughter, with pride in our plan, we get it all done. That's a love grand plan. It's all happening in Love Grand. Oh yes it is, where the coffee's strong and the teamwork lives. From City Hall lights to the mountain land, we serve with heart. It's all happening in Love Grand.
I know what you did. We figured it out.
Finances counter to that bluegrass beat. Parks keeps it green, it keeps us all running. HR's reminded us to clock in on time. Public works heroes, they dig and they plan. While planning and zoning draw lines in the sand. We may not be rich, but we make it all stand. With trust, pride, and heart, the soul of Love Grand, it's all happening in Love Grand. That's our song. We're doing what's right, keeps us strong. We'll shovel the snow and lend a hand, 'cause it's all happening in Love Grand.
Welcome to the inaugural. I can't promise that everyone's going to start out, I'm going to say that good. The desire and intent for us to do this is that, of course, have an employee all hands. We have, I believe online, people that are watching us, streaming it over YouTube, to include, I believe some of our city council members might be viewing it as well. So welcome all of you. Our agenda of things that we were planning on talking about today is what you see in front of you here. I'll pause for just a second. And then the purpose for this meeting. Overall, the purpose of me calling you guys out is more than anything, I feel as though there's an importance in giving you guys the opportunity to get to know me as best as you possibly can. And I know that you've had long-term leaders within the organization that you all know well too, but my hope is we can still work toward deepening those relationships as well. And I don't want you guys to think either that I believe that holding a single meeting once a quarter is going to be all of a sudden everything that needs to be done in order to be able to form the relationships that I'm hoping that we're going to be able to have together, at least in the time that I'm here, which I suspect is going to be for a while. assuming that the community doesn't decide that they need to get rid of me quickly. On that note, what I would like is for all of you guys to be willing, genuinely willing, to reach out to me and invite me to your areas where you work. Let me come down and spend some time with you and get to know you better, and get to know your teams better, and get to know your different levels of leadership better. It's not that I'm incapable of just coming down and setting that up on my own, but I'd rather do it on the terms that you need me to do it on, rather than me telling you I'm going to show up and I want you to then thereby have a relationship with me. So if you're willing, invite me, and I promise you, you're going to see that I'm going to actually meet. Even if the date that you suggest initially isn't one that will work with me, I'll work with you to find a date that will work for both of us. I'll try my best to make my schedule meet your schedule. That was a really long statement to get into what I wrote up here on the board. This is more eloquent, probably has fewer uhs in it, but one way or another, and all of this will be available for you guys, or if you guys want, I can send the slides out behind the meeting so that people can see it as too. The bottom line, purpose of this leads into kind of the second slide as well. One of the things I've learned over the course of my career is when people are applying for jobs, they learn what needs to be said in order to be able to get a job. And more often than not, one of the catchphrases in those interviews is something about building trust. And then when they show up and they work in the position, it's kind of a crapshoot at times as to whether or not that's really true. Are they really concerned about it, or was it really a good catchphrase to use during the interview? My hope is that over time, you are going to be able to see that that's not just a catchphrase for me, that it is actually a genuine effort that I'm planning on putting into, both with all of the employees of our organization, but also with the community. You're going to see me do a lot of stuff that's intended to interact with you, and a lot of stuff that's intended to interact with the community. And the whole purpose of that is so that we can build one of the biggest complaints that we consistently hear back on is a lack of transparency and a lack of trust. And so I don't know the perfect solution, and I don't think we're ever going to find the perfect solution, but what I can say is there's always room to do better than what's been done in the past. And this is one of those first steps towards trying to make that happen. I apologize if I'm talking fast. Don't be afraid to say to me, slow down if I'm going too quickly. Any thoughts and/or concerns or questions in regards to that?
Small technical difficulty. The screen is not seeing the slideshow.
Oh,
It's stuck on the first slide.
It's just showing the PowerPoint window. So
okay.
we're gonna.
That's why we have a meeting.
So many reasons to have no.
We're pausing. Well, I got
You
you.
wanna see
I
if
got you
that's
guys
updated
covered.
now?
This will be the intermission.
She's not texting me back, so.
I'll tell you what, while he's continuing to try and get us set up, I'll keep us moving forward. Can you go to the next?
That should be good.
Or never mind, I can just
You're
walk.
checking it?
Yeah, I'm checking it right now. I just changed it. Now it should
Okay,
be seen.
so if you guys recall on the agenda, the
Yep,
first thing
she's
behind listening to me talk a lot was an opportunity for us to be able to get into some recognition efforts. Our desire is to make sure that you as employees know that you're valued, and for us to take some deliberate time and effort to put some recognition in place. But we also know that no two personalities are alike, And so some people may be very happy to be able to receive some level of public appreciation, and others would prefer to just get a quiet thank you. What I can say is we're going to endeavor to do our best to make sure that we're meeting you where you want us to meet you. And we'll have some ongoing conversation about how it is that we will shape that to communicate it going forward. But our desire is to, it's not that everybody gets an award circumstance, but it is everybody that we take the time to recommend for special recognition gets that recognition, but of course on the terms it is that they most would like and or appreciate that. So with that in mind, we solicited the senior leaders in the organization to be able to forward to us any recommendations of people that we would like to spend some special time recognizing. And what I can say is no circumstance is perfect. Our desire to be able to recognize isn't meant to leave anybody thinking or feeling that they're not valued. What I can say is more to come. And hopefully everybody will see the value in how we're rolling it out. But I also recognize that I'm going to make mistakes along the path, or we're going to make mistakes. And if ever you should find yourself feeling left out in any way, shape, or form, please don't be afraid to talk to me about it, because that's not the desire or intent there. We want to meet you where you are. That being said, Parks and Rec, Stu, can you come up?
Sure.
Can you, I'm going to ask the directors that are here and able to do so to be able to speak to the recommendations that came in and from their organizations, unless you have a supervisor that you want to speak to a decision.
Not this one. So Chris Austin is my parks lead person. If you haven't met Chris, he's a quiet guy, so you might not know him. He's not out tooting his own horn very often. But what's amazing about Chris is he has had to work a lot of weekends all summer long, because we haven't had a lot of summer staff. So since we have a small department, right? So we're dependent on seasonals to work weekends. So because of that, he had to cover a lot of weekends, a lot of weekend shifts, because people want to be in the park on the weekend. It's so weird. I don't get that part. But the reality is, he did a lot of Saturdays and Sundays. He didn't complain about it. I never asked him to do it. He just volunteered. He just came with a solution, and we did it. So I'm pretty thankful for him.
Thank you. How you can stay up. Is Chris here?
No, Chris is off work at 2:30.
Okay, that's how you said that. So we have a certificate that we made for him as well. If you want to give it to him, or if you want me to come down and give it to him,
Great.
I'd be happy to do that. Same thing for these next ones that we're going to talk about. Go ahead.
Yeah, so the next ones are work at the pool, right? And every year we do this pool shutdown where we drain the pool, we paint things, we clean things, we do all this stuff. So one of these people is here. They're all the same family. We happen to have the leader of the family here, the matriarch, if you will. Kendall, come on up. Hey, Kendall. So this is a swim family, obviously. Ken, I'm not sure you are a swimmer, but your kids are all swimmers. So she has competitive swimmers. She has 5 girls, and they're all swimmers of different abilities. One is our, Chloe is our aquatic activities coordinator. Kendall's a swim instructor. Brennan and Shiloh are lifeguards. And what's special about them is not only their family and how they bring it to work. I mean, that sounds bad, but you know what I mean. And also, during shutdown, they had to come in on Sunday. They volunteered to do that. It wasn't a requirement. It was just a little above and beyond. Not a little, but a lot above and beyond. Because we needed to, the contractors were slow to get their work done. We had to get the pool back open. So in order to do that, we needed extra hands on deck, literally, to put the pool back together. So thank you to the Lynch family.
Kyle.
All right,
Streets and roads.
so to start off the speech, I did not nominate you.
Don't put me on the list.
Well, I think in 14 years of being at the city of LeGrand, the one true thing that has always come through is our roads suck. Except for this year. So these guys went out and 6 months ago, I challenged them and said, hey, we're getting a new boss in 6 months, and I would really like Public Works to be one of the highest producing departments in the city by the time that new person gets here. And they took my challenge and they blew it out of the water. I mean, they threw down more asphalt this year than I've seen go down in probably the last decade. So for the first time in my 14 years, we actually got phone calls of people who said, hey, you didn't pave my street, but you did a great job this summer, and we're really appreciative of your work. So from my position, that's what speaks multitudes of how great these guys did this summer. So we're not as wordy as Parks, so that's about all I have.
Seriously awesome. So it's good to get- We got one more. Another wastewater treatment.
Yeah, you go drones on and on.
Yeah.
I want to add to it after you're done too.
All right. Lane? Does it got a category for why they're so great?
So I can tell you, I'll take it if you want. I went out when I first, probably within the first few weeks that I was here, and I did a tour out at the site and spent some time with Lyle going through and seeing all of this. And I can say for the first time in my, I guess I should have shared a little bit more about my background, but I've worked in city management, just not what you are traditionally used to for coming here. I mean, what we had for wastewater treatment in other locations isn't anywhere near the magnitude of the way things are being done here in this city. And the truth is that I feel like I don't know how you guys are. You're probably more aware than the average public is. But what I can say is that the public doesn't realize just how much they're arguably saving their lives in the work that's being done out at that location, and it's just business as usual for them. But they're constantly working at it, they're looking at it to improve and make things better. But bottom line is, I can't imagine what it would be. We put a quote up on our staff this call, this meeting quote up on the wall that talked about budgets. It's like dirty laundry. Skip it a few times and you're going to have a whole lot of problems. Same thing here. Like if this situation shuts down, it's not going to take like skip it a couple of times. It's going to take all of a couple of days at max before we got crazy problems in our city. And so, from my perspective, they're unsung heroes, and I feel like they need to know that they're appreciated.
Just to add on to that, with like Public Works, most of our divisions are pretty large. The wastewater treatment plant pulls it off with 4 people. And for a while there, they were down a guy, and you know, it's pretty rough. So, you know, Kyle and Joel and Lyle have been pushing for a long time. Kenny really hasn't done anything yet, because he just got here a week ago, so he's just, you know.
He's taking a lot of credit, though.
Yeah, he's up there pretty big, so. But if you are all interested, I know they love giving tours, so if you want to go and see what money smells like there, that's the place. That's it?
Good job.
Okay.
We have, same thing, we have certificates for them as well. So a surprise addition that we had, it's not a surprise that they're being recognized, but a surprise that unfortunately, I don't believe anybody in the room here with us right now is anybody from finance. And I can tell you the reason why that is because they're in the midst of audit right now, and every one of them are working hard in order to be able to make sure that we can pass that with minimal to no material findings that would ultimately reflect bad upon us for the state. So not just because they're not here, am I saying, are we putting them up here, but when it comes right down to it, this is a constant state for them. What they do in order to keep us operating and functioning is, and arguably, like wastewater treatment, dealing with a lot of crap, but they're doing it and helping us make sure that we can do what we need to do, especially when we find ourselves not having the money that we had hoped that we would have to do something. And so unless something goes really wrong and becomes public, you never ever really end up hearing about it. But they're solving problems every single day. And so we wanted to make sure that that team knows. And I believe most of them are probably at least listening to this broadcast at this moment. So if you mind, give a round of applause for them. All right, so city updates. So this is more than anything right now a placeholder. I'm going to give the other leaders in the room the opportunity to speak if there's anything that they want, but I also told them I wasn't placing a request or requirement upon them to come today prepared to say anything. But what I can say is that the intent here is for us to be able to give you the opportunity to hear from us firsthand what it is that we are doing on any particular topic that may be affecting you, or maybe just simply of interest of awareness to you. And I put inward and outward facing on there. Inward meaning things that affect you in here, and then outward meaning things that are affecting the community that you probably will end up having some sort of peripheral potential of somebody wanting to ask you questions because you work for the city. So our desire and intent is to be able to provide those kinds of updates or information to you now. And I placed up here little prompters to give us the opportunity for individuals to come up and talk. Unless anybody has anything hot that they, or not even hot, they just have something they want to talk about, I'm intending to talk a little bit about our approach going forward in regards to how we're going to analyze and make decisions for the future. But I don't want to take away any of your guys' thunder or opportunity if you guys would like to speak.
I'll just do one too. I just want to recognize Teresa for one project that's happening along the strip. Directors have heard this, but along Island Avenue, if you notice an excavator, that's because of a grant that Teresa wrote. So it's an $80-some-thousand grant that we're using to plant about 50 trees through there. It's been unused, kind of ugly space forever, so I'm excited for that and appreciate her for writing and doing the work. We're going to plant trees probably next year. We're just filling and mulching for now. So that's in action. In case you're wondering, what the heck's going on? Yeah, that's us. Good stuff.
I'm going to add something to what Stu just said too. Thanks for being kind, because you could have outed me right now. Stu actually also sent to us, and we put in, and I don't know how it got lost, so I'm not going to speak to that at the moment, but Teresa also got what?
Oh, so yeah. You don't have that memorized? Yeah.
I got it, and I want you to say it.
All right. Well, Teresa was also awarded the Arborist of the Year for the Pacific Northwest from the International Society of Arboriculture, right? Yes. So that's pretty impressive for somebody that works in La Grande, Oregon, in Pia, little tiny town, to be that magnitude of recognized. That's legit. And so she's going out of the bank. She's retiring in December. She wrote this massive grant. The person next to her is one of those people hired with a different grant she wrote, and she's the best arborist in the entire Northwest.
One other thing I wanted to add to all of those recognitions that we did, my desire and intent, I think all of you are tracking that next week we're going to also be doing a community town hall where we're going to be sharing some information in kind of a not too indifferent format than what we're doing right now. But one of the things that I also want to do with the community is I want them to know the good things that you're doing. I want to make sure that they're aware. We got to tell our story, and if we're not telling our story, who's going to? And so when we have these community town halls, I'm planning on bringing forward some of these recognitions that we have here so that the community is aware of are we perfect all the time? Maybe not. But it doesn't mean we're not still doing a lot of really great things in our community. It isn't just this is like to give you a warning that we're about to tell, a warning order that we're about to tell the public how great you are as well, so you can hide if you want to. Just quick down the list. Stacy, you have anything you want to talk about from a reporter perspective? Michael? Okay. Is Joe here? No, doesn't make. I'm sorry, are you good? No. Nobody here from economic development today. Finance isn't here today. Fire department? Human resources isn't with us right now. And then library? Carrie?
I mean, you all should have a library card by now.
Will you take applications after this meeting?
Yeah.
All right. Stu, you got anything else you want to add?
No, I jump the line of them,
Okay.
normal.
Chief Bell?
Just hope you don't park illegally, because Danny's gonna go out and check parking. Other than that,
I wrote preemptive tickets, it's fine.
I got everything in mind. Kyle, anything?
The only thing I got is it's almost snow removal season, so anybody who answers the phone, get ready from our roads team to our roads are covered in snow. So that will be the new phone call everyone will get.
Hey, so I'm glad you said that. Thank you for bringing it up. And it's a good, I don't know if you did it strategically on purpose, but a good on you. Something I wanted to be able to kind of speak to is the elephant that can sometimes be in the room and nobody ever really talks about. Each and every one of you in here has very unique requirements of the position that you hold and that you're in. And some of those share commonalities with others to form different groups within the organization. Simultaneously, because that is true, we can at times find ourselves at a place in time where it could feel like other individuals in the organization are getting benefits that we don't get because of the requirements of the position that we hold. And snow and ice removal is an example of that. My understanding is last year, and I have no doubts that this is true, I've had the organizations that I've been in before, but during snow and ice removal, your team, your snow and ice removal team, and or others probably as well, what do they do when that's happening?
They're in the streets.
Okay, and what does everybody else do in the organization? If we close everything down, what happens? They send you home, right? So what I'd like to say is that it's important for us to take the time to say thank you to those people that are having to do that work, because it's one thing to have to do the work that's already difficult to do, but it's a whole nother thing to do it and watch everybody else get to go home. It's a perceived benefit. It's not intended to be a benefit, but it's a perceived benefit. And that's a hard reality. But the way we can help offset that is if we on our own can take a couple of seconds and make sure that we're saying, hey, thank you. Another example would be our fire department and police department. Now, I do recognize that everybody thinks that fire department just sleeps all day long and they get paid to sleep all day long. It's not, Gary would agree, that's not entirely untrue. But the truth is they're doing an amazing and great job in doing what they're doing, and some of the perceived benefits that we get, they do not. Same thing with the police department. Every single one of the officers that work in that organization have, and I think you guys know this already, but they have to do things and they have to forego opportunities and benefits because their duty doesn't allow for that to be true. And so again, my request would be is that if you think of it when you see them, take the moment and just say, hey, thanks for letting me have it as good as I have it, and you have it the way you have it. I think that's an important thing for us to be mindful of and remember, because at times I'm going to make decisions that are going to feel like I'm maybe leaving out one segment of the population. But unfortunately, we can't make decisions all the time that's going to be able to perfectly affect everybody's circumstances. But I can promise you this, I'm going to try. And when we do make decisions that may not meet you where you are, invite me to meet you where you are, and I promise you I'll show up. Going into my last portion of updates for you guys, one of the things that I've learned so far in the time, this is nearing the end of my 7th week here, one of the things that I've gleaned is communication is adequate, especially probably outstanding amongst yourselves, especially on your teams and through your directorates. It's probably outstanding. I don't have an opinion on whether or not it's bad. What I can say is you're very successful in what you're doing, so I have to assume that for the most part it's very good. What I can say is the way that we strategically communicate, both with the city council and with the community, I've assessed needs to be better. And so, especially when we're advocating for how we want to resource things and how we want to get after the problems that we've identified that we need to solve. And so my desire and intent is for us as a leadership team to spend some time, and it's going to be some increased time. And I've asked you to give your guys as leaders some grace, because I'm going to be putting some pressure on them to help me build these communication tools out. And it's going to be something more than they're used to doing. And it's going to fill their plate more than they're usually doing. But I'm going to try and do it with just enough stress to be able to keep us moving forward, but not so much that it's going to break them or the teams that they're responsible to lead. And I'm going to count on you guys to give me, and them, to give me feedback when I'm stretching that rubber band a little bit too thin. But I promise you, you having that opinion is never going to make me angry. You might see disappointment on my face because I know it's true, but I'm never going to be bothered, upset, or have any kind of a negative emotion or reaction to anybody that has the willingness to share with me their dissatisfaction with the circumstance. To me, it's just an opportunity to look for ways to do better. I can also promise you, I'll always give you a why if you're willing to ask for it. I may not always know to offer it immediately, but if you're willing to ask me, I will take the time to make sure that you get the why, so that we can make sure that we're all understanding each other, even if we're in disagreement. Plus, once you know the why, you might be able to point out something that I didn't realize, and then I'll be like, oh, well, that changes everything. So at least that'd be my hope anyway. That's the I guess you'd say the wave top version of what we're going to be working on. I call it strategic planning, but I genuinely feel and believe that it will yield positive fruit for all of us as we enter into the budget season. Unless anybody has any thoughts or questions in regards to that. All right, so I was trying to be a little bit funny. I included in with the, well, I was being serious and funny, wanting to include. One of the things that I'd like to be able to close out with most of our presentations on is some sort of reminder in regards to safety within our organization and workplace. And so what I would ask you to do if you read over this at any particular time is to look for the nugget of truth within the comedy of what is written here. But in short, remember gravity is undefeated, right? So that means, well, you can read the rest, you don't need to read it to you, but we'll send these out to everybody so that they have it. Long story short, be safety minded in all the things that you're doing. And if you have any concerns, don't be afraid to raise it. I'm committed to helping to make sure that your environments are completely safe where you're working. All I need you to do is just be willing to talk to me about it. I should probably know, but the reality of it is I can get just as easily distracted as anybody else. And so I've got no pride where you can't, where I won't, my feelings won't be hurt because you're pointing out something that should have been obvious to me. But hopefully I won't leave you feeling badly because I failed to assess it. Winter is coming, as Kyle mentioned already. This has a whole long list of things to be concerned about, especially when it comes to driving into work in the morning or going home at night, let alone anything else in between. My ask is just please be careful. And from my opinion, definitely go to your supervisors and your leaders, but our demand for you to be in the work, aside from law enforcement and fire, our demand for you to be in the work doesn't trump your safety and your ability to make a decision whether or not it's safe for you to drive in. Your decision is your decision. We can have conversations about how we make sure you're whether it's leave or something else that we do in order to work with you. Anyway, that's that. Upcoming, so we'll also take some opportunity to share the things that are upcoming. What I can tell you is that we're planning on having hosting this at the City Hall on Halloween Day. What I would ask is that if you, when you take a break and you have opportunity, then you can swing by and partake of the event. We need to do our best diligence to make sure that we're not on the clock when we're doing stuff like this. What I can tell you is my request of you is that if you take longer than 15 or 20 minutes during normal work hours to attend something of this effect, just make sure you make up for it in the right place. Ultimately, go back to your supervisor, check with them, and follow their logic. I'll always back the supervisor's logic. Anybody have any questions? All right. Well, then we'll ask if you have any questions. This is your opportunity to hit me and or the other leaders with hard questions. So it's not just simply, do you have questions about what was on the slides here, but do you have any questions, things that are weighing on your mind as an organization that you would like some sort of an answer to? If it's something I can give a fairly short answer to here in this environment, or if it's something that maybe we need to take a side conversation with, my desire is to be as open and transparent with everybody as we possibly can. The only rule that I have in regards to that is I'm not going to put people's laundry out on display. So if you ask me a question that has to do with somebody you have a particular hard feeling on, that's a one-on-one conversation with me, not something for me to out anybody in public about. Aside from that, for the most part, you can ask me anything you want. Oh, come on. Somebody gotta give me something hard. I take it as a personal failure. Oh, there you go. All right, Teresa. Thank you. I'm not failing now.
What's your favorite tree?
My favorite.
Good question.
I'm gonna say it's a red something. What's it called? The red. Yes. There you go. Thank you for finishing that sentence. I'm going to count it as I answered. All right, that was a good question. I'm not a failure anymore. We can all go home. See you later. Anybody else have any questions? Yes.
What's your favorite book?
That's a great question. I would say there's a book that's called, well, I like anything written by John Maxwell. But a particular leadership book that I like is called Leadership and Self-Deception, Getting Out of the Box. And when I first got it, somebody introduced it to me, I was like, yeah, this is a dumb leadership book, I'm going to just bore myself into reading it. I can tell you, like, I couldn't put the book down. It's an amazing, amazing read and helped me. It actually plays a big part in some of the things that I do as a leader. One of the things that it talks about in there is don't let other people's bad behavior become excuses for your own bad behavior. And so that's a kind of a mantra that I try to live by in my own. So thank you for that question. Anyone else? Okay. Then I appreciate it. That sums up for today. I'll play our new official LeGrand theme song. And then I'll hang out here for a little bit if anybody wants to come up and talk with me.
Is that AI, or you singing, or who's singing?
Yeah, I wrote the music, wrote the song, and I'm singing it. I'm really good with the banjo. Yeah, it's AI. Once I found this particular tool, I fell in love with it. I can't stop doing it. I'm writing songs. I'm an expert songwriter now.
Can you put lyrics up?
What's that?
Put the words up?
I don't know if it'll, I'll tell you what I'll do is I think I can probably email the song out to everybody. I can say, when you click on it, it'll take you to the app and the app shows the words. I'll see if I can't, you know what, I put the words in there, so I should be able to send you the words too. Yeah, okay. Yeah, my commitment to you is I'll send it out to you. And there you go. Thank you, everybody.
Could I get a picture of the one slide so I could show Shiloh and Brenna, since they're out of town? You're okay, you're okay. Do you have this turned on?